Hello, I'm Charlotte Leisman. Welcome back to the Gothic Literary Society. Today we are talking about a classic Gothic tale, one that's excellent for October, which is why I chose it, and that would be The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So I have the movie here with me. We're going to talk about both the original story, the book by Washington Irving, and the movie. And I'm going to try to avoid any plot spoilers, so if you have not seen this or read the book, feel free to stay with us, and I think you will still enjoy them. So the tale is a tale about a man by the name of Ichabod Crane. In Irving's original book, Ichabod Crane is a schoolmaster, and he is a man of superior intellect, but very awkward social abilities. And he goes to a town by the name of Sleepy Hollow, and he is there to be their schoolmaster. So he takes up residence with the Von Tassel family, and he is surprised by the local tradition. So the people of Sleepy Hollow are known for their superstition and for their belief in the spiritual world, and there is something that is going on there. There are a number of unsolved murders occurring in the village, and the local country wives blame all of this on the character of the Headless Horseman. Of course, Ichabod Crane, who is a man of profound intellect, dismisses this out of hand, and he is something of a character of ridicule on the part of the townspeople because he doesn't believe in the spiritual world and therefore has no idea what's really going on. So the story also features Ichabod's desire to win over the hand of Katrina Von Tassel. And Katrina is the daughter of the prominent Dutch farming family in the area, and her father has the greatest amount of money, and Irving presents this as a battle largely for her father's money. So he presents Ichabod Crane as one who is suddenly taken over by the idea of having all of this money and this opulent lifestyle, and who is really just out for the money and not so much for Katrina. So, of course, Katrina has a current suitor. His name is Brom Van Blunt, I believe. And Brom is not so fond of Ichabod stepping into his territory. So the book features the escalating tension between Ichabod and Brom as they attempt to win over Katrina. So I'll leave that at that, and you can go and read it. If you would like to hear an abridged version of the tale, the original tale, read, I highly recommend the YouTube channel, The Townsends, and I will put a link below. It is one of my favorite YouTube channels. They are focused primarily on things from the 1700s, from the 18th century. So a lot of it is cooking, but not exclusively. So they will feature some of the different elements of 18th century lifestyle, say lighting or housing or things like that. And I found it just a fascinating channel. And last Halloween, they did a reading live from Nutmeg Tavern, which if you haven't experienced it, you really have to experience Nutmeg Tavern. And they did the abridged reading of the original Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and it was just delightful. So if you would like to get a shorter snapshot of that, it's about an hour long, I highly recommend checking out their channel, and I will put a link to that video in specific below so that you can go there and see it. So in 1999, Tim Burton released the film version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It also features Ichabod Crane, and he has really taken what I believe to be the essence of who Ichabod is. So this man of great intellect who is very disdainful of things that can't be reasoned, and he has fleshed him out in a film version that is longer and more conducive to a 2-hour film. Of course, Ichabod is still a man of very awkward social abilities. But in his case, in the Tim Burton film, Ichabod is a police inspector, and he is from New York. He is consumed with the desire to work with all of the latest in forensic and investigative techniques. His superiors are very disdainful of this. They don't like his methods at all. And when the news comes to them that there is a series of unsolved murders up in the village of Sleepy Hollow, they send Ichabod Crane, partly, of course, to get rid of him. So when Ichabod Crane gets to Sleepy Hollow, he is faced with, once again, like in the original tale, with the stories about the Headless Horseman. Being a man of great intellect, he dismisses them out of hand and is very disdainful of any such thing. But it's very, very early in the movie when he actually encounters the Headless Horseman for himself, and from then on, his desire to cling to reason is pitted against the reality of what he has seen. So there's that. In addition, Tim Burton presents Ichabod less as a man of greed, as a man who sees in Katrina something of an ally. So I'll leave it at that and let you discover the rest of it, but it is a slightly different take on Ichabod's motives, which I found to be consistent enough that it was a good spin on the person of Ichabod. So thematically, the two themes are quite different. So Irving, if you may have guessed from what I said earlier, he features Ichabod dealing with essentially his own personal greed, which is not necessarily a very Gothic story. That's more a tale of horror. If you've seen my video on Gothic versus horror, you know that horror deals with specific moral failings, and that is very much a specific problem. So when Ichabod gets to Sleepy Hollow, his greed rises to the surface when he sees the Van Tassel family and sees all that he could have by winning over Katrina, and his greed takes over him and controls his actions from then on. In contrast, in the Tim Burton film, he has, I think he has a couple of different themes. So there's definitely a primary theme, and that would be on the existence of the spiritual world in general, which is a very Gothic theme. We've talked about that before. He also has a secondary theme, and that secondary theme is something of a bullying theme. He deals with it from the perspective of witchcraft. So there are a number of characters who are practicing witchcraft, and he presents them as practicing for various reasons. These characters have a history of being persecuted by others, and Burton presents that as being destructive when the other characters have not sought to understand perhaps why the character is practicing magic. So he presents one character in particular as practicing magic for very protective, loving purposes towards other people in his or her life, I won't say who, and the consequences and negative fallout that happen because of the persecution of that activity without really understanding the reasons behind it. That's not necessarily a Gothic theme. That is a theme of bullying, which is not necessarily intangible. However, it works very, very well with his primary theme about the existence of the spiritual world. And so I would say overall the film version is very Gothic. I would say much more so than the original tale, which does not surprise me from Tim Burton. So all that to say, I hope you go out there and you check out the book, or at least the Townsend reading of it, and check out the Tim Burton film. It is a great one for this season, and really in keeping with the fall Gothic atmosphere. So I hope you're having a wonderful fall, and let me know whether you have read this or watched the movie, or when you do, let me know what you like about it and whether you think it is Gothic, and if you took anything else away from it. So that's it for today. If you like this movie, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I release videos on Fridays. So until next time, stay undead, my friends.